the differences between California and Texas. So I remember moving to Texas, and it felt like I was in the Napoleon Dynamite movie. That's literally what it felt like. Now Texas is changing tremendously. When I first came to Texas, it was just white people with flannel shirts and Mexicans. That's what it was. It was a lot of Mexicans, and it was a lot of white dudes with flannel shirts, and that was it. It was quite amazing, quite freaking amazing, guys. And it was clean, man. It was clean. It was very peaceful. Napoleon Dynamite. That's what it was. The movie Napoleon Dynamite. You had Napoleon Dynamite and you had Pedro. Remember Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite? And then you had Napoleon, and then you had his brother. That's how Texas was. It was a bunch of white dudes with flannel shirts and eating Whataburger and tacos, and they had horses and ranches and very simple people. I mean, it was very simple. Very, very simple. By simple, I don't mean they're stupid. It's actually a compliment. They're very, very, very down-to-earth people. And there was a Target, and then there was you would see a Target, you would see an HEB, and there was some things around it, and that was it. And now you're seeing, I mean, for the first time ever, this is how you can tell the state is changing. You know that where you live is declining when you see a guy walk into a restaurant with a tank top, red skin, and a backpack on. Straight up. I am not joking, guys. I am not joking. You know that your neighborhood is declining when you walk into a restaurant and you see a guy sitting at a booth and he's got a tank top, and sometimes he has a baseball cap on and he's got missing hair, red skin from all the alcohol. He is unhealthily thin. He is thin, but not in a healthy way. He's so thin because why? Because he's taking drugs. Red ass skin from all the alcohol he drinks, and he's got a backpack. And I'm not talking about some bicyclist with a backpack. I'm not talking about some guy who goes mountain climbing. I'm not talking about that kind of backpack. I'm not talking about people who eat Crunch Bars and granola and trail mix. I'm talking about straight up, it's a backpack full of junk, and he's got a water bottle hanging from the backpack, and while he's at the restaurant, he doesn't order anything because he don't got no money, because he's broke, because he's spending all of his money on drugs. He doesn't order anything. He just uses the restaurant to use the bathroom and sit at the booth so he can eat his half-eaten bag of Fritos. That's how you know your neighborhood's going straight to shit. It's going straight to shit. And I never saw that move when I first came to Texas. Never saw that here. Never. Now it's becoming more and more common. You go outside, you see a guy with red skin who is thin in a very unhealthy way, backpack with a water bottle hanging out from the back, and it's full of junk. And when he sits in a booth, he just uses the space of the which should be illegal. That should be illegal. If you go into a restaurant, you are utilizing all that restaurant's resources. You're using their AC, you're using their booth, you're using their space, and you're not ordering anything, which means that space could have been used by someone who's a paying customer. But it's not. It's used by a mooch-off leech, drug addict loser. And so the restaurant is actually losing potential business when that lowlife is sitting at the booth. It should be illegal, and there needs to be I don't know. There needs to be a police officer in the restaurant and to tell these lowlifes, get out. You ain't ordering anything, get out. And I agree with restaurants when they say, hey, you want to come in here, no shirt, no service. I mean, bottom line, no shirt, no service. But you're seeing this more and more, and it's becoming like Seattle. You look at Seattle, you see guys with red skin and backpacks, and they got the backpack because they got all their stuff in there. They got drugs, clothes in there, maybe they got some needles, and they have drained all of their money on drugs. They're homeless because nobody. Think about it. Why is somebody homeless? Right? This is the big thing in California right now. Homelessness. All these homeless people, they're ruining the society. All these homeless people, drug addicts. Think about it. What brings about homelessness? What brings about homelessness? Drugs. Drugs is the prerequisite to massive homelessness. It's drugs. That is the main reason. If you look at all these homeless people, what do they all have in common? They're all drug addicts. Meth, heroin, PC, whatever. List the names of this narcotics. They're drug addicts. And they spent all their money on drugs. They have spent all their money on drugs. And why are they homeless? Because you would think they would have at least one relative who would help them, right? They could have gone to their parents. They could have gone to a sibling, a cousin. Why is there nobody to help these people? And I believe it's because they're such low lives and they're such trouble, they're so troublesome, that not even anyone in their family wants to help them. So if nobody in your own family wants to help you because you're such an asshole, then that tells me everything I need to know about you. You're not a good person. Homeless people are not good people. I'm going to say it right now. They're not good people. They're not. They're not good people. They are the types of people who, if you let them in your house, they'd probably throw up all over the floor and leave for you to clean it up. That's the kind of people they are. And you walk into a restaurant and you see a homeless guy and he's sitting at the booth and he's wasting potential business for the restaurant. He don't give a shit. He just wants to use people's space at the expense of others. And then he doesn't order anything, but he's eating a bag of Fritos and he's got that backpack and he got the red skin and he's got a hat and he's just sitting there making everybody feel uncomfortable. And the thing about these drug addicts is that you don't know when they're going to flip. You don't know when they're going to flip. I see these videos on cops, on the cop body cams. You see these videos. All of a sudden, some crazy guy with a knife is threatening people around him, and the cops have to come over and put him down. They have to put him down like an animal in the pound. Why? These people flip. It's because of the drugs. The drugs has destroyed their brain, and they start hearing voices. They start seeing things. They start hallucinating, and you don't know when they're going to flip. So you have a guy coming into a restaurant, taking the space of the restaurant at the expense of others, thereby ruining potential business for the restaurant while using the restaurant's resources, space, AC, chairs, booth. And in the meantime, he's scaring everyone around him. How is that good? How is that good for society? How is that good for society? And the thing is that it's amazing that Governor Newsom, the president of China, came to California, and Governor Newsom cleans the street of homeless people. He cleans the streets of the homeless. No homelessness. And what happened? The Chinese leader leaves, and the homeless people come right back. And so people are talking about Gavin Newsom running for president. If Gavin Newsom runs for president, you know what the Republicans are going to be hitting like a dead horse all day. They're going to be hitting on how you clean the streets for a communist regime, but you don't want to clean the streets for the American people. Explain that one.